Beginning of day 106. I'm leaving the hostel, Maria McCabe's hostel in Salisbury, Connecticut. Let me show you around the outside. I didn't show you much in the inside because I didn't want to disturb people this morning. It's 7:30 as I'm hitting the trail. This morning's breakfast was 5 eggs, a banana, and an apple. I had some stuff left over from my town stop. It's always good to pump in some good food when you can. So let me show you here a little bit what we got going on. There's the house. There's the backyard that had some nice shade. I hung out here some yesterday. It's just a pretty basic house with a nice room, nice clean rooms, and and it's not a very far walk into Salisbury proper to a grocery store where I got some food. Yesterday I bought food for my day. I needed some town food, so instead of going out to eat at a bunch of restaurants, a couple of restaurants, and spending $50-60 for 3 meals, I spent $20 at the grocery store. I may have said this in another video, bought a dozen eggs, some Hot Pockets, Maria Calendar's family-sized pot pie, or large-sized pot pie, some fruit. I bought 3 apples and 3 bananas, and let me see what else. Oh yeah, Powerade. Get some electrolytes in. So I pounded food yesterday and tried to eat a lot of eggs because they are good protein, help your body recover. I was tired from the day before, so I'm just walking here through. I have a road walk this morning of about 6/10 of a mile to get to another part of the AT that actually is on a road walk for a few tenths, and then I'm back in the woods. Today's big event, I guess, is Bear Mountain, which looks to be pretty steep up and down, not real long, but very steep. Talked to a couple of guys at the hostel who've hiked it, and they said it's not that bad. So I have a couple of options for tonight. First option would be to just do Bear Mountain, and on the other side, which is about 8 miles, there would be shelter. The second option is to go over Mount Race, which is a smaller climb than Bear Mountain, and go to the other side to shelter or campsite there, which is 12.4, 12.6. I'm just going to see how I feel. Hopefully a day of recovery has really helped. I know my feet are feeling a lot better, my knees too, just feeling a whole lot better. So getting started early this morning, 7:30. One of the roommates and bunkmates wanted to get up and get going, so that's a good thing. It's nice to hike while it's cool, and there's a fair amount of uphill today out of town, and I've got a heavy pack, so cool is good. So I agreed, and I'm on trail by 7:30, which is better than what I usually do in the woods. I didn't have to take down a tarp or a hammock or anything like that. Just went down and fried 5 eggs and ate my apple and my banana, washed my dishes, and took off. So this is kind of the outskirts of Salisbury, but anyway, I'm going to be walking up this road for about a half a mile, and then the AT takes off to the left on another road for a few tenths, and then it heads back up into the woods. So that's my plan for today, and I'll keep taking you with me down the trail. I'm here kind of at the top of what's called Lion's Head. I'm taking a little break. It's 10 o'clock. It was a fair amount of climbing to get up here. I've been climbing pretty much ever since I left town. So been trying to take a break every hour and a little bit more of a break every 2 hours. So taking a little break here, and then I'm going to head off. I have another hour and a half to get to the base of the big climb for the day, which is Bear Mountain, which is like 500 feet in elevation gain. And I've heard everything from it's a real booger to it's not that bad. So from the topo map, it looks, not from the elevation profile, but well, from the elevation profile and the topo map, it looks like they just kind of ran the trail straight up the mountain. No switchbacks. So I expect it to be steep and rocky. Kind of the main event for the day. There are shelters on this side of Bear Mountain. Bear Mountain is the high point of Connecticut, so we will be over the high point of Connecticut. I'm not a high pointer, but I've been over the high point of New York, and I've been over the high point of Connecticut, just because the trail goes there. It's a beautiful day. It's started out like in the 60s. It's up to 77 now. My guess is we're going to get to low 80s today, and it'll stay there. It's a whole lot better in the trees when you don't have direct sunlight, and sometimes there's a breeze. Right now there's a little breeze up here. The breeze is wonderful. So we'll just see. We'll just see how it goes. It is an absolutely gorgeous day. There are a lot of people out here. Met, let me see, 3, 4 southbounders today. Starting to meet a lot of southbound AT hikers. Met a father and son that were doing a little section hike, and there was a lady was up here when I got up here. Met down the trail a little bit that is doing a long section hike from Delaware Water Gap, which is Pennsylvania-New Jersey border, to Bennington, Vermont, which would be, it's probably like 500 miles. So she's about 150 miles from her, no, not 150. She's about 60 or 70 miles from her finish. There's 88 miles in, no, she's more than that, excuse me. There's 80 some miles in Massachusetts, and we're still in Connecticut. So she's 100 miles from her completion. But that's a, they call people that do long sections lashers. The acronym stands for long ass section hikers. They could probably remove that second word out of there, and nobody be offended. She's a long section hiker. So kudos to her. She's hiking a hard part of the trail, but just keep taking you with me. Keep a good attitude. I've been trying today not to attack too hard on the uphills and to rest going uphill, and just to take it easy on my body. Even though I had a day's rest, I feel much better than I did the day before. But today won't be a 3,000 foot climbing day like I had 2 days ago. So I just want to kind of protect myself from that. If Bear Mountain goes well, then I'm going to tackle Mount Race. But Mount Race is a lot more gradual, and it's a lot less elevation. I think it's like 300 feet elevation gain, and it's done over a couple of miles. So it's a really gentle uphill climb, and those are the kinds I like. So if I can get up and over Mount Race, it'll be 12.2 or something for the day. There's a shelter or a campsite there, and that would be a good day. If I decide that Bear Mountain has done me in, there's a shelter on the other side of Bear Mountain, which would be about 8, which is not terrible either, but it'd be really good to get the 12 in. So I'm going to try to Going to try to make it up and over Bear Mountain. Oh, it'd be really nice to be up and over Bear Mountain by 1 o'clock today. Then take a long break, maybe take a nap, and then start out again. Even a couple hour break, and hike. It would be. I never quite have the guts to put off hiking until late in the evening, like 5 o'clock, but boy, the temperatures are nice and it's really nice hiking in the evening. So we'll see how this plays out. To the top of Bear Mountain, and we have a view. Honestly, it hasn't been too bad so far. Got a little ways to go, but it looks like it's the slope up here is getting a little bit more gradual. I don't know. We got a little ways to go. The hardest part is that the trail is directly in the sunlight, and it's noon, so it's hot. There is a great breeze up here, but it really is beautiful. So this is probably the hardest climb of the day. I think I can see Lion's Head over there where we came from, maybe. And at this point, I thought that climb was harder because it was longer, but I'll keep taking you with me. This is officially the top of Bear Mountain, the highest point in Connecticut. Look at this view. Wow. The other view I showed you was about 2/3 of the way up, and it was indeed a pretty good scramble. And I'm up here. I'm going to get out of the sun because it's hot, but I'm going to show you when I get down here in a little bit that somebody's made this huge pile of rocks up here on top of the peak so you can climb up here and see this view, and it's just hard to describe. It's probably the best view I've had in Connecticut, and we're just getting ready to leave Connecticut, so get down to the foot of this mountain, and I think I'll be in Massachusetts, but let me show you this view one more time. See those lakes out there? Oh. I didn't get to hike by those, I guess, way by them. I wish I could have hiked on the shores of them. I like hiking by lakes. I'm told that the backside of this is a pretty hard scramble, so I'm going to go down here in the shade and take a load off and cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to head down the mountain, and then the plan is to I'm going to give myself another good break, and then I'm going to hike Mount Race, which will be in Massachusetts. And that's a fair climb, but it's a lot more gradual than this is. And honestly, this wasn't magnificently difficult. It wasn't so bad. I expect the backside's going to be a little challenging, but we're just going to see. This is the big rock mound, and the plaque you see there says, "This monument marks the highest ground in Connecticut, 2,369 feet, I think is what it says. Built in 1885. And the man's name. I'll get a closer picture of it. Still don't know if you can read this, but I'll read it again. This monument marks the highest ground in Connecticut, 2,354 feet above the sea. Built AD 1885, Owen Travis. And the last word I can't read. So this has been here a long time. The camera won't do this justice, but I'm going to show you what I just came down. It's about a 60-degree angle up there, scrambling backwards down over those rocks. It goes on for a good ways. It's kind of fun, pseudo rock climbing. little more complicated with a pack. All right, I passed out of Connecticut and to Massachusetts, another state down. Goodbye, Connecticut. It was a wild ride. So, I'm gonna keep on going down here. There's a campsite. Actually, it looks like it's just down here. There's a campsite here. I'm gonna take a little rest and make some plans. This would be first option for stopping for the night. It's a little early. It's 2 o'clock. Can't say that I haven't worked pretty hard today, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to stop down here and take a little break. It seems like I've been taking breaks all the time, but it just really helps. That downhill from Bear Mountain was rather technical and steep. Took it real easy. I've just been the geriatric hiker today. Sometimes slow and steady wins the race. So this gets me to close to 8 miles for the day, which is not bad considering the ups and downs. But would really like more. The only other options are I have to look at my guide. I think there's a shelter at 12 point something. But it's a 6/10 of a mile downhill trek to the shelter. That means you have to hike out 6/10 up, which is really a bite. So, not really too wild about that scenario. And then the next one is, I think the next one is a total of 14 miles, and that seems like a really difficult scenario. So here we have the sign for Sage's Ravine. It tells you to stay on trail and only camp where they tell you to, basically. So we'll see what happens down here. I'm at the top of Mount Race in Massachusetts. First climb in Massachusetts. The last climb for me for the day. Now it's a downhill. Probably being kind of rough, but downhill of about a mile to my campsite, and I'm going to call it a day. It's much the same view that we had from Bear Mountain, only it's much closer to those lakes out there. It is really gorgeous, and we're getting into golden hour here where everything just looks wonderful. So this is beautiful. It was a hard climb, but I'm here. Wasn't quite to the top. I have to walk on this rocky ridge just a little bit more to get to the top, but there's some great views. So I'll keep taking you with me. So this is the end of day 106. I am at the Falls Race something campsite. It's over the top of Mount Race. I went ahead and did Mount Race. Probably not the smartest decision I've ever made. It was. It didn't look hard on the map, but it sure was. It was a booger. There were some really gorgeous views up there. Some of the best views I've had in a long time. But at a certain point, I didn't care anymore. So anyway, I'm here at camp. I've got my hammock set up. I've got water. I've got some filtered. I've got to make myself some supper, but first I'm going to take a load off, get my feet elevated, and just tilt a little bit to get a little strength back. Kind of going to the edge today. So I guess the good news is I don't have to do what I did tomorrow. I don't have to do race tomorrow. I have to do Everett tomorrow. So anyway, Everett, if you're watching this, I'm going to tell you whether I like your mountain or not. If it's as rough as Mount Race was, I'm going to give you, like 2 stars or something for your mountain. But anyway, it's generally been a good day. Bear Mountain was good. The climb wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I took a lot of breaks, but then I kind of ran out of break time here in the evening, and when I started to push on, and thought only 2.5 miles. Well, it was a tough 2.5 miles. So thank you, Massachusetts, for breaking me in style. Same thing Connecticut did. I think there's a competition in all these states to see if they can break you in the first climb or so. But anyway, that's kind of the deal for today. Day 106, ending up here. Probably not going to hear any more from me because I am pooped. And it's going to be a chore just to get the things done I need to get done. But if I sit here and rest a little bit, I get a little time, I'll get myself some dinner, and I'll be better in the morning. So I'm signing off. It's Gray Sun signing off.